to somebody else's.
Yes, right.
Yes, sir.
And that's the reason why we have to march and picket and ask for things which are rightfully ours.
Yes, sir.
We shouldn't have to ask anyone for justice. We're supposed to give our own self justice.
That's right.
We shouldn't ask anyone for freedom or equality. See, that's the mistake that we're making as a people by turning to the ones who are giving us injustice, asking them for justice.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
That's a grave mistake. The ones that's causing us injustice is not going to turn around and give us justice.
True.
We need to turn to ourselves.
Yes, sir.
Because if we unite, then we can bring about justice for ourselves.
Yes, sir.
Which one will survive the war of Armageddon? Christianity, Islam. This is a reality that we see today.
That's right.
This actual facts board that we have here was created many years ago.
Yes, sir.
I'm not certain on the exact date, but it's been here for a long time.
That's right.
And we see today that there's a war going on
Yes, sir.
between America, Christianity, and Islam. It's happening right now.
That's right.
This is not something that we have to try to visualize. It's happening right now. We see America in Islamic countries.
That's true. That's right.
And we see the members of that Islamic countries forcing them out.
That's right.
They don't want them there.
That's right.
They don't want them to impose their ways on their society, their way of life. So there's a war going on. And then we see what they call terrorist attacks.
Yes, sir.
You know. So there's the proof that there's a war going on.
That's right.
Okay? But we ourselves are part of this war. Now, I don't want to scare or incite anyone. I want to show you the seriousness of the time that we're living in.
Yes, sir.
We're living in a very serious time. And it is important that we know the time that we're living in.
Yes, sir.
Because if we don't know the time that we're living in, then we can be a victim of the time.
Yes, sir.
Time is very important. The war of Armageddon. What is Armageddon?
Good question.
As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us, the war of Armageddon is a holy war. It's a war between the righteous and the unrighteous.
That's true.
It is a final war. It is a war that ends wars. It's a war between God and the devil.
That's right.
That's right.
It's a war between the people of God and the people of the devil.
Yes, sir.
And you want to be with the people of God
Yes,
during
sir.
this day and time. I want to again thank everyone for coming.
Yes, sir.
It's so many other things you could have been doing. But again, to unite with your brothers and sisters and come together to learn more about what's going on in the world and where we need to be and what we need to be doing during this day and time shows an intelligence about your choice and your action. You know, some people don't want to hear these types of things because it forces you to make a decision. You know, it forces you to make a choice.
That's right.
Some people want to ignore it so that they don't have to change and they can continue going on in their way of life.
Yes, sir.
But it shows that you care about yourself and your children, because what we do today dictates our future for our children.
Yes, sir.
We want to prepare a better future for our children than what we've had of the past of ourselves.
That's right.
So this is why we're coming together today. So before I go any further, I would like to introduce you to a brother who was born into the Nation of Islam. Not so the Nation of Islam, but into this new idea or way of thinking. This brother was raised by a minister in the Nation of Islam who lived with the one that God chose to deliver a message to us.
Yes, sir.
And he lived with this man for 3.5 years.
That's right.
And was taught day and night. And the man that he lived with was raised up by God himself.
Yes, sir.
Into the knowledge that would raise us up from a mental and spiritual death.
Yes, sir.
I speak of no other than the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
This is, if you never heard of this man, then you missed out on a great part of our history.
Yes, sir.
I want to bring up Minister Yusuf Muhammad out of Muhammad's Mosque of San Antonio. Will you all please help me welcome him?
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, to whom all praise is due forever, for raising up one from among us to guide us back into the knowledge of God, self, and the devil. Speak none other than Allah's last messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Brothers and sisters, it's a pleasure to be here in Berlin to speak with you for a few moments. We are in a serious time today.
Yes, sir.
As Brother William, we thank him for inviting us down here. But as he has said, actual fact board is nothing but actual facts.
Yes, sir.
If you don't know anything about Islam, you can't teach off this board. But all in this board that this brother has spoken on is truth. But as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us, Christianity is not our way of life. But you read in the Bible about the messengers, the warners, and the prophets. When we speak of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, we speaking of a man who came from God's face.
Yes, sir.
The scriptures teaches us that God told Moses, I will raise up one like unto thee, Moses. Is that not right?
Yes, sir.
Why would God have to raise up one like unto thee, Moses? And Moses was one who spoke with God face to face.
That's right.
It is because of this day and time that we are living in. We are people who have not known our God, our language, our nationality. We have been a people who have been swallowed up in Christianity.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
When you are swallowed up, you lose everything. Just over 100 years ago, we have been freed. But when we were brought here to America, we knew our own language. We knew our own God.
That's right.
Some of us have seen the movie Roots. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, Kente Kente said, Allah. They have forgotten your name.
Yes, sir.
Allah means God. Allah is the Arabic word of God. Allah means all in all.
Yes, sir.
But when you translate it out of its original tongue into English, you say God.
Yes, sir.
We prefer the word Allah, the name Allah, instead of God. Because look at the people. They use God's name in vain. God this, God that.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
But you don't hear no one saying Allah this, Allah that.
That's right.
This world, this society of Christianity uses God any way they see fit. Well, today, God is not allowing us to use His name and His word any way we want to.
Yes, sir.
You see, we have to understand that this is not our religion. We think we know Christianity. What do we know about Christianity?
Good question.
It came about after our brother, Jesus, whom the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us is a prophet.
That's right.
After he died, they took what he said and put a name on it. Since they called him the Christ, he was not the Christ, but the scriptures say they called him Christ.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
They took what he taught and called it Christianity. You cannot prove to me that Jesus was a Christian.
That's right. Break it
You
down.
can't even prove it to yourself that Jesus was a Christian.
That's right, brother.
Jesus taught freedom, justice, and equality.
Yes, sir.
Jesus knew nothing about Christianity.
That's right.
How can you tell us that Jesus was a Christian and he said he taught the same thing Moses taught?
That's right.
What was Moses' religion?
Okay.
Christianity wasn't in effect in that time, was it? So, brothers and sisters, that is something we must think about. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said we were swallowed up into slavery, not knowing who we are. We have taken on the names of white people.
Yes, sir.
And let us understand, we who believe in the teachings of Allah through His messenger, we are not racist.
Yes, sir. Make it
We
plain.
believe in self first.
Yes, sir.
So we must teach the truth to our people. Am I lying when I say that we were the creators? Am I lying when I say the black man built the Sphinx?
No, sir. No, sir.
White people didn't do this. But the white man tells us that we are nothing.
That's what he said.
Yes, sir.
They teach us that we are savages. Is that right?
That's
Yes, sir. That's what they say.
Well, a savage cannot be put into slavery. A savage will kill himself or allow himself to be killed before he submits.
That's true.
Yes, sir.
But we are wise people. So we do as they say, the saying is, live to do another day.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
That's right.
So that's why our ancestors sung songs. One day I will put down this old rugged
That's
cross.
what he said. Yes, sir.
A sign of what? Suffering and shame.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
They put it in our songs. That's what the churches, they sing these songs of praise and joy and songs with hints in it for us. But we just look over it. Just like this Bible. Right here. we read this book
That's right.
and we reading it like a story.
Mm-hmm.
But do you find yourself in this book?
Good question.
As Brother Willie pointed out, we were hung on these trees.
That's true.
This was common in the time of slavery.
Yes, sir.
Why did they hang us on the tree? To inject fear into you and I.
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad put this board together and he said, this is a beautiful picture. You might say, why would he say this is a beautiful picture? It's a black man hanging on a tree. It's beautiful because you can actually see what the people who said they are the lovers of God, who they worship the best God, the true God.
Yes,
You can see the lying, murdering people that they are.
Yes, sir. Make it plain.
To bring black men and women over here
Mm-hmm.
and take their names, split up their families, injected fear so harshly into us, and they don't have a conscience.
That's right.
That is why when you look in our history, you can find that this devil, this white man, have taken our black women,
Mm-hmm.
pregnant black women,
That's it.
tied them onto trees, and cut the rope, and the tree would rip the woman apart, and the baby would fall out on fire. You had to see this. That's their way of injecting fear into your heart.
Yes, sir.
And that fear has been embedded in our people today.
Yes, sir.
Let me prove it to you.
Make it
If
plain.
a group of brothers are sitting on a corner or standing on a corner here in Killeen, San Antonio, anywhere in Texas, across the world,
That's right, brother.
and you see that police cruiser riding up, what happens? Man, I got to go.
That's right. That's right.
Because the first thought that goes into our minds is that he's finna plant something on us, he's finna beat us, he's gonna do whatever he wants
That's true.
to us. This is real.
Yes, sir.
We living in this day.
That's right.
The past, present, and the future.